Good morning, everybody. This is the day the Lord has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. It is time to read the word of the Lord. We're going through the Bible. 90 days. Today is day number 12. Knocking it out, y'all. There's 78 more days left. Monday through Friday, we're reading the Bible. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm your host, Pastor Kellen Brooks. We're going through the Bible. Listen, man should not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. Y'all, the Bible is food. Indeed. The Bible. That's the book for me. I'm standing on the word of God, the Bible. When we were kids, we'd holler out, Bible. That's what we're doing here today, y'all. Thank you, Pastor Smith. Good to have you on. God bless those that are watching all over. God bless you, God bless you, God bless you. Good morning, good morning. Oh, Michigan is in. New York is in. Where are you watching from? Let me know where you are. I'd love to shout you out. Love to say hello to you. Good to see the saints. Y'all, this has been a great journey for me. I'm enjoying it. Y'all, I've been conditioning my voice, doing vocal exercises to increase my stamina so I can read long and not be cracking. It's been a beautiful thing. Learning so many things, seeing things in the Bible that I may not have seen before. And it's amazing. The Bible really is alive. And that's what the word says about itself. That the word of God is quick, it's alive, it's powerful, sharper than any two-edged sword. So we're excited about the word today. We're in Numbers chapter 31, and we're going through Deuteronomy chapter 4. Numbers 31, chapter 4. Listen, if you want to learn more about me, about our ministry, about our church, then it's scrolling on the bottom. Go to kellenbrooks.com, learn more about me. Follow me at kbrooks. Visit myptchurch.org. Visit philoschurch.org. Learn about everything that we're doing here in the ministry. The Lord is blessing in Inkster and in the Dearborn, Detroit area, and we're glad about it. All right, that's it for announcements today. We're going to Numbers chapter 31. And as always, I love to pray the Psalms. And the Psalms says, show us wonderful things out of your law, out of your word. And that's our prayer today, that the Lord would show us wonderful things out of thy law. As we read it today, though we're not studying it today, we're just reading it. Revelation says that there's a blessing in hearing the words of this prophecy. So just even that are able to read along, even if you're just able to listen to the word is going to be a blessing to you. So Father God, we thank you for the word in Jesus' name. Amen. Numbers chapter 31. Let's start reading. Then the Lord said to Moses, on behalf of the people of Israel, take revenge on the Midianites for leading them into idolatry. After that, you will die and join your ancestors. So Moses said to the people, choose some men and arm them to fight the Lord's war of revenge against Midian. From each tribe of Israel, send 1,000 men into battle. So they chose 1,000 men from each tribe of Israel, a total of 12,000 men armed for battle. Then Moses sent them out, 1,000 men from each tribe, and Phinehas, son of Eleazar the priest, led them into battle. They carried along the holy objects of the sanctuary and the trumpets for sounding the charge. They attacked Midian as the Lord had commanded Moses, and they killed all the men. All 5 of the Midianite kings, Evi, Rechem, Zur, Hur, and Reba, died in the battle. They also killed Balaam, son of Beor, with the sword. Then the Israelite army captured the Midianite women, children, and seized their cattle and flocks and all their wealth as plunder. They burned all the towns and villages where the Midianites lived. After they had gathered the plunder and captives, both people and animals, they brought them all to Moses and Eleazar the priest, and to the whole community of Israel, which was camped on the plains of Moab beside the Jordan River, across from Jericho. Moses, Eleazar the priest, and all the leaders of the community went to meet them outside the camp. But Moses was furious with all the generals and captains who had returned from the battle. "Why have you let all the women live?" he demanded. "These are the very ones who follow Balaam's advice and caused the people of Israel to rebel against the Lord at Mount Peor. They are the ones who caused the plague to strike the Lord's people. So kill all the boys and all the women who have had intercourse with a man. Only the young girls who are virgins may live. You may keep them for yourselves. And all of you who have killed anyone or touched a dead body must stay outside the camp for 7 days. You must purify yourselves and your captives on the 3rd and 7th days. Purify all your clothing too, and everything made of leather, goat, or wood." Then Eleazar the priest said to the men who were in battle, "The Lord has given Moses this legal requirement. Anything made of gold, silver, bronze, iron, tin, or lead, that is, all metals that do not burn, must be passed through the fire in order to be made ceremonially pure. These metal objects must then be further purified with the water of purification, but everything that burns must be purified by the water alone. On the 7th day, you must wash your clothes and be purified, then you may return to the camp." And the Lord said to Moses, "You and Eleazar the priest and the family leaders of each tribe are to make a list of all the plunder taken in the battle, including the people and animals. Then divide the plunder into 2 parts and give half to the men who fought the battle and half to the rest of the people. From the army's portion, first give the Lord his share of the plunder, 1 of every 500 of the prisoners of the cattle, donkeys, sheep, and goats. Give this share of the army's half to Eleazar the priest as an offering to the Lord. From the half that belongs to the people of Israel, take 1 of every 50 of the prisoners and of the cattle, donkeys, sheep, goats, and other animals. Give this share to the Levites, who are in charge of maintaining the Lord's tabernacle." So Moses and Eleazar the priest did as the Lord commanded Moses. The plunder remaining from everything the fighting men had taken totaled 675,000 sheep and goats, 72,000 cattle, 61,000 donkeys, and 32,000 virgin girls. Half of the plunder was given to the fighting men. It totaled 337,500 sheep and goats, of which 675 were the Lord's share, 36,000 cattle, of which 72 were the Lord's share, 30,500 donkeys, of which 61 were the Lord's share, and 16,000 virgin girls, of whom 32 were the Lord's share. Moses gave all the Lord's share to Eleazar the priest, just as the Lord had directed him. Half of the plunder belonged to the people of Israel, and Moses separated it from the half belonging to the fighting men. It totaled 337,500 sheep and 36,000 cattle, 30,500 donkeys, and 16,000 virgin girls from the half share given to the people. Moses took 1 of every 50 prisoners and animals and gave them to the Levites, who maintained the Lord's tabernacle. All this was done as the Lord had commanded Moses. Then all the generals and captains came to Moses and said, what was going on here? Oh, it's going crazy here. Sorry, y'all. I ain't never had this happen. All right, let's keep going. Live stream is talking. So Moses and Eleazar the priest received the gold from all the military commanders, all kinds of jewelry and crafted objects, and all. The gold that the generals and captains presented as a gift to the Lord weighed about 420 pounds. All the fighting men had taken some of the plunder for themselves. So Moses and Eleazar the priest accepted the gifts from the generals and captains and brought the gold to the tabernacle as a reminder to the Lord that the people of Israel belong to him. Numbers chapter 32. The tribes of Reuben and Gad owned vast numbers of livestock. So when they saw that the lands of Jazer and Gilead were ideally suited for their flocks and herds, they came to Moses, Eleazar the priest, and the other leaders of the community. They said, "Notice the towns of Atara, Dibon, Jazer, Nimrah, Heshbon, Elealeh, Sibmah, Nebo, and Beon. The Lord has conquered this whole area for the community of Israel, and it is ideally suited for all our livestock. If we have found favor with you, please let us have this land as our property instead of giving us land across the Jordan River." Do you intend to stay here while your brothers go across and do all the fighting? Moses asked the men of Gad and Reuben, why do you all want to discourage the rest of the people of Israel from going across to the land the Lord has given them? Your ancestors did the same thing when I sent them from Kadesh Barnea to explore the land. After that, they went up to the valley of Eshcol and explored the land. They discouraged the people of Israel from entering the land the Lord was giving them. Then the Lord was very angry with them, and he vowed, of all those I rescued from Egypt, no one who is 20 years old and older will ever see the land I swore to give Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, for they have not obeyed me wholeheartedly. The only exceptions are Caleb, son of Jephunneh, the Kizanite, and Joshua, the son of Nun, for they have wholeheartedly followed the Lord. The Lord was angry with Israel and made them wander in the wilderness for 40 years, until the entire generation that sinned in the Lord's sight had died. But here you are, a brood of sinners, doing exactly the same thing. You are making the Lord even angry with Israel. If you turn away from him like this, and he abandons them again in the wilderness, you will be responsible for destroying the entire nation. But they approached Moses and said, we simply want to build pens for our livestock and fortified towns for our wives and children. Then we will arm ourselves and lead our fellow Israelites into battle until we have brought them safely to their land. Meanwhile, our families will stay in the fortified towns we build here, so they will be safe from any attacks by the local people. We will not return to our homes until all the people of Israel have received their portions of land. But we do not claim any of the land on the other side of the Jordan. We would rather live here on the east side and accept this as our grant of land. Then Moses said, if you keep your word and arm yourselves for the Lord's battles, and if your troops cross the Jordan and keep fighting until the Lord has driven out his enemies, then you may return when the Lord has conquered the land. You will have fulfilled your duty to the Lord and to the rest of the people of Israel. And the land on the east side of the Jordan will be your property from the Lord. But if you fail to keep your word, then you will have sinned against the Lord, and you may be sure that your sin will find you out. Go ahead and build towns for your families and pens for your flocks, but do everything you have promised. Then the men of Gad and Reuben replied, we are your servants. We will follow your instructions exactly. Children, wives, flocks, and cattle will stay here in the towns of Gilead. All who are able to bear arms will cross over to fight the Lord, just as you have said. Moses gave orders to Eleazar the priest, Joshua son of Nun, and the leaders of the clans of Israel. He said, the men of Gad and Reuben who are armed for battle must cross the Jordan with you to fight for the Lord. If they do, give them the land of Gilead as their property when the land is conquered. But if they refuse to arm themselves and cross over with you, then they must accept land with the rest of you in the land of Canaan. The tribes of Gad and Reuben said again, we are your servants, and we will do as the Lord has commanded. We will cross the Jordan into Canaan fully armed to fight for the Lord, but our property will be here on this side of the Jordan. So Moses assigned the land to the tribes of Gad, Reuben, and half tribe of Manasseh, son of Joseph. He gave them the territory of King Sihon of the Amorites and the land of King Og of Bashan, the whole land with its cities and surrounding areas. The descendants of Gad built the towns of Dibon, Ataroth, Aroer, Atroth, Shaphan, Jazir, Jokbeheh, Beth Nimrah, and Beth Haran. These were all fortified towns with pens for their flocks. The descendants of Reuben built the towns of Heshbon, Elealeh, Kiriathaim, Nebo, Bel-Meon, and Sibmah. They changed the names of some of the towns they conquered and rebuilt. The descendants of Machir of the tribe of Manasseh went to Gilead and conquered it, and they drove out the Amorites living there. So Moses gave Gilead to the Machirites, descendants of Manasseh, and they settled there. The people of Jair, another clan of the tribe of Manasseh, captured many of the towns in Gilead and changed the name of that region to the towns of Jair. Meanwhile, a man named Nobah captured the town of Kenath and its surrounding villages, and he renamed that area Nobah after himself. Numbers chapter 33. This is the route the Israelites followed as they marched out of Egypt under the leadership of Moses and Aaron. At the Lord's direction, Moses kept a written record of their progress. These are the stages of their march, identified by different places where they stopped along the way. They set out from the city of Ramesses in early spring on the 15th day of the first month, on the morning after the first Passover celebration. The people of Israel left defiantly, in full view of all the Egyptians. Meanwhile, the Egyptians were burying all their firstborn sons, whom the Lord had killed the night before. The Lord had defeated the gods of Egypt that night with great acts of judgment. After leaving Ramesses, the Israelites set up camp at Succoth. Then they left Succoth and camped at Etham, on the edge of the wilderness. They left Etham and turned back toward Pi-Hahiroth, opposite Baal-Zephon, and camped near Migdal. They left Pi-Hahiroth and crossed the Red Sea until the wilderness beyond. Then they traveled for 3 days into the Etham wilderness and camped at Marah. They left Marah and camped at Elim, where there were 12 springs of water and 70 palm trees. They left Elim and camped beside the Red Sea. They left the Red Sea and camped in the wilderness of Sin. Then they left the wilderness of Sin and camped at Dafka. They left Dafka and camped at Alush. They left Alush and camped at Rephidim, where there was no water for the people to drink. They left Rephidim and camped in the wilderness of Sinai. They left the wilderness of Sinai and camped at Kibroth Hattava. They left Kibroth Hattava and camped at Hazeroth. They left Hazeroth and camped at Rithmah. They left Rithmah and camped at Ramon Perez. They left Ramon Perez and camped at Libnah. They left Libnah and camped at Risa. They left Risa and camped at Kehelatha. They left Kehelatha and camped at Mount Sephir. They left Mount Sephir and camped at Harada. They left Harada and camped at Makeloth. They left Makeloth and camped at Tahath. They left Tahath and camped at Terah. They left Terah and camped at Mithkah. They left Mithkah and camped at Hashmanah. They left Hashmanah and camped at Masarath. They left Masarath and camped at Bnei Jakan. They left Bnei Jakan and camped at Hor Hagidgad. They left Hor Hagidgad and camped at Jotbatha. They left Jotbatha and camped at Abranah. They left Abranah and camped at Ezion Geber. They left Ezion Geber and camped at Kadesh in the wilderness of Zin. They left Kadesh and camped at Mount Hor at the border of Edom. While they were at the foot of Mount Hor, Aaron the priest was directed by the Lord to go up to the mountain, and there he died. This happened in midsummer, on the first day of the first month of the 40th year after Israel's departure from Egypt. Aaron was 123 years old when he died there on Mount Hor. At that time, the Canaanite king of Arad, who lived in the Negev in the land of Canaan, heard that the people of Israel were approaching his land. Meanwhile, the Israelites left Mount Hor and camped at Zelmanah. They left Zelmanah and camped at Punan. They left Punan and camped at Obath. They left Obath and camped at Lai-Abarim on the border of Moab. They left Lai-Abarim and camped at Daban Gad. They left Daban Gad and camped at Elmon Deblathaim. They left Elmon Deblathaim and camped in the mountains east of the river near Nebo. They left the mountains east of the river and camped on the plains of Moab beside the Jordan River, across from Jericho. Along the Jordan River, they camped from Beth Jeshimoth as far as the meadows of Acacia on the plains of Moab. While they were camped near the Jordan River on the plains of Moab, opposite Jericho, the Lord said to Moses, "Give the following instructions to the people of Israel. When you cross the Jordan River into the land of Canaan, you must drive out all the people living there. You must destroy all their carved and molten images and demolish all their pagan shrines. Take possession of the land and settle in it, because I have given it to you to occupy. You must distribute the land among the clans by sacred lot in proportion to their size. A larger portion of land will be allotted to each of the larger clans, and a smaller portion will be allotted to each of the smaller clans. The decision of sacred lot is final. In this way, the portions of the land will be divided among your ancestral tribes. But if you fail to drive out the people who live in the land, those who remain will be like splinters in your eyes and thorns in your side. They will harass you in the land where you live, and I will do to you what I had planned to do to them." Numbers chapter 34. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Give these instructions to the Israelites. When you come into the land of Canaan, which I am giving you as your special possession, these will be the boundaries. The southern portion of your country will extend from the wilderness of Zin along the edge of Edom. The southern boundary will begin on the east at the Dead Sea. It will then run south past Scorpion Pass in the direction of Zin. Its southernmost point will be Kadesh Barnea, from which it will go to Hazar Adar and on to Asman. From Asman, the boundary will turn toward the brook of Egypt and end at the Mediterranean Sea. Your western boundary will be the coastline of the Mediterranean Sea. Your northern boundary will begin at the Mediterranean Sea and run east to Mount Hor, then to Lebo Hamath, and on through Zedad and Zephron to Hazar Enan. This will be your northern boundary. The eastern boundary will start at Hazar Enan and run south to Shepham, then down to Riblah on the east side of Ain. From there, the boundary will run down along the eastern edge of the Sea of Galilee, and then along the Jordan River to the Dead Sea. These are the boundaries of your land. Then Moses told the Israelites, this territory is the homeland you are to divide among yourselves by sacred lot. The Lord has commanded that the land be divided among 9.5 remaining tribes. The families of the tribes of Reuben, Gad, and the half tribe of Manasseh already received their grants of land on the east side of the Jordan River, across from Jericho toward the sunrise. And the Lord said to Moses, Eleazar the priest and Joshua the son of Nun are the men designated to divide the grants of land among the people, and list one leader from each tribe to help them with the task. These are the tribes and the names of the leaders. The tribe of Judah, Caleb son of Nun, son of Jephunneh. The tribe of Simeon, the leader is Shemaiah, son of Amidud. The tribe of Benjamin, the leader is Elidad, son of Kislon. Dan, Buki, son of Jogli. Manasseh, son of Joseph. Haniel, son of Ephraim. Tribe of Ephraim, son of Joseph. Chemiel, son of Shiftan. The tribe of Zebulun, leader, Elizaphan, son of Parnak. The tribe of Issachar, the leader is Paltiel, son of Azan. The tribe of Asher, the leader was Ahihud, son of Shalomi. The tribe of Naphtali, the leader was Padali, son of Amihud. These are the men the Lord has appointed to divide the grants of land in Canaan among the Israelites. Numbers 35. While the Israelites camped beside the Jordan on the plains of Moab across from Jericho, the Lord said to Moses, command the people of Israel to give to the Levites from their property certain towns to live in, along the surrounding pasture lands. These towns will be for the Levites to live in, and the surrounding lands will provide pasture for their cattle, flocks, and other livestock. The pasture assigned to the Levites around these towns will extend 1,500 feet outside the town walls in every direction, east, south, west, north, with the town at the center. This will serve as the larger pasture lands for the towns. 6 of the towns you give to the Levites will be cities of refuge, where a person who has accidentally killed someone can flee for safety. In addition, give them 42 other towns. In all, 48 towns with the surrounding pasture land will be given to the Levites. These towns will come from the property of the people of Israel. Larger tribes will give more towns to Levites, while smaller tribes will give fewer. Each tribe will give property in proportion to the size of its land. The Lord said to Moses to give the following instructions to the people of Israel. When you cross the Jordan into the land of Canaan, designate cities of refuge to which people can flee if they have killed someone accidentally. These cities will be places of protection from a dead person's relatives who want to avenge the death. The slayer must not be put to death before being tried by the community. Designate 6 cities of refuge for yourselves, 3 on the east side of the Jordan River and 3 on the west in the land of Canaan. These cities are for the protection of Israelites, foreigners living among you, and traveling merchants. Anyone who accidentally kills someone may flee there for safety. But if someone strikes and kills another person with a piece of iron, it is murder, and the murderer must be executed. Or if someone with a stone in his hand strikes and kills another person, it is murder, and the murderer must be put to death. Or if someone strikes and kills another person with a wooden object, it is murder, and the murderer must be put to death. The victim's nearest relative is responsible for putting the murderer to death. When they meet, the avenger must put the murderer to death. So if someone hates another person and waits in ambush, then pushes him or throws something at him and he dies, it is murder. Or if someone hates another person and hits him with a fist and he dies, it is murder. It is in such cases the avenger must put the murderer to death when they meet. But suppose someone pushes another person without having shown previous hostility, or throws something that unintentionally hits another person, or accidentally drops a huge stone on someone though they were not enemies, and the person dies. If this should happen, the community must follow these regulations in making the judgment between the slayer and the avenger, the victim's nearest relative. The community must protect the slayer from the avenger and must escort the slayer back to live in the city of refuge to which he fled. There he must remain until the death of the high priest, who was anointed with the sacred oil. But if the slayer ever leaves the limits of the city of refuge and the avenger finds him outside the city and kills him, it will not be considered murder. The slayer should have stayed inside the city of refuge until the death of the high priest. But after the death of the high priest, the slayer may return to his own property. These are legal requirements for you to observe from generation to generation wherever you may live. All murderers are to be put to death, but only if evidence is presented by more than one witness. No one may be put to death on the testimony of only one witness. Also, you must never accept a ransom payment for the life of someone judged guilty of murder and subject to execution. Murderers must also always be put to death and never accept a ransom payment for someone who has fled to a city of refuge, allowing a slayer to return to his property before the death of the high priest. This will ensure that the land where you live will not be polluted, for murder pollutes the land, and no sacrifice except the execution of the murderer can purify the land from murder. You must not defile the land where you live, for I live there myself. I am the Lord who lives among the people of Israel. Numbers chapter 36. Then the heads of the clans of Gilead, descendants of Machir, son of Manasseh, son of Joseph, came to Moses and the family leaders of Israel with a petition. They said, "Sir, the Lord instructed you to divide the land by sacred lot among the people of Israel. You were told by the Lord to give the grants of land owned by our brother Zelophehad to his daughters. But if they marry men from another tribe, their grants of land will go with them to the tribe into which they marry. In this way, the total area of our tribal land will be reduced. Then when the year of Jubilee comes, their portion of land will be added to that of the new tribe, causing it to be lost forever to our ancestral tribe." So Moses gave the Israelites this command from the Lord. The claim of the men of the tribe of Joseph is legitimate. This is the Lord's command. This is what the Lord commands concerning the daughters of Zelophehad. Let them marry anyone they like as long as it is within their own ancestral tribe. None of the territorial land may pass from one tribe to tribe, for all the land given to each tribe must remain within the tribe to which it was first allotted. The daughters throughout the tribes of Israel who are in line to inherit property must marry within their tribe, so that all the Israelites will keep their ancestral property. No grant of land may pass from one tribe to another. Each tribe of Israel must keep its allotted portion of land. The daughters of Zelophehad did as the Lord had commanded Moses. Mahlah, Tirzah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Noah all married cousins on their father's side. They married into the clans of Manasseh, son of Joseph. Thus their inheritance of land remained with their ancestral tribe. These are the commands and regulations that the Lord gave to the people of Israel through Moses while they were camped on the plains of Moab beside the Jordan River. Y'all, we have completed the book of Deuteronomy. That deserves an applause. All righty. The book of Numbers, rather. We have made it to the book of Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 1. Let's read. These are the words that Moses spoke to all the people of Israel while they were in the wilderness east of the Jordan. They were camped in the Jordan Valley near Supt, between Paran on one side and Tophel, Laban, Hazeroth, and Dizahab on the other. Normally, it only takes 11 days to travel from Mount Sinai to Kadesh Barnea, going by way of Mount Seir. But 40 years after the Israelites left Egypt, on the first day of the 11th month, Moses addressed the people of Israel, telling them everything the Lord had commanded him to say. This took place after he had defeated King Sihon of the Amorites, who ruled in Heshbon, and at Edrei had defeated King Og of Bashan, who ruled in Ashtaroth. While the Israelites were in the land of Moab, east of the Jordan River, Moses carefully explained the Lord's instructions as follows. When we were at Mount Sinai, the Lord our God said to us, "You have stayed at this mountain long enough. It is time to break camp and move on. Go to the hill country of the Amorites and to all the neighboring regions, the Jordan Valley, the hill country, the western foothills, the Negev, the coastal plain. Go to the land of the Canaanites and to Lebanon, and all the way to the great Euphrates River. Look, I am giving this land to you. Go in and occupy it, for it is the land the Lord swore to give your ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and to all their descendants." Moses continued, "At that time I told you, you are too great a burden for me to carry all by myself. The Lord your God has increased your population, making you as numerous as the stars. And may the Lord, the God of your ancestors, multiply you 1,000 times more and bless you as he has promised. but you are such a heavy load to carry. How can I deal with all your problems and bickering? Choose some well-respected men from each tribe who are known for their wisdom and understanding, and I will appoint them as your leaders." Then you responded, "The plan is a good one." So I took the wise and respected men you had selected from your tribes and appointed them to serve as judges and officials over you. Some were responsible for 1,000 people, some for 100, some for 50, and some for 10. At that time, I instructed the judges, "You must hear the cases of your fellow Israelites and the foreigners living among you. Be perfectly fair in your decisions and impartial in your judgments. Hear the cases of those who are poor as well as those who are rich. Don't be afraid of anyone's anger, for the decision you make is God's decision. Bring me any cases that are too difficult for you, and I will handle them." At that time, I gave you instructions about everything you were to do. Then, just as the Lord God, our God, commanded us, we left Mount Sinai and traveled throughout the great and terrifying wilderness, as you yourselves remember, and headed toward the hill country of the Amorites. When we arrived at Kadesh Barnea, I said to you, "You have now reached the hill country of the Amorites that the Lord our God is giving us. Look, he has placed the land in front of you. Go and occupy it as the Lord, the God of your ancestors, has promised you. Don't be afraid, don't be discouraged." But you all came to me and said, "First, let's send out scouts to explore the land for us. They will advise us on the best route to take and which towns we should enter." This seemed like a good idea to me, so I chose 12 scouts, one from each of your tribes, then headed for the hill country and came to the valley of Vesco and explored it. They picked some of its fruit and brought it back to us, and they reported, "The land our God has given us is indeed a good land. But you rebelled against the command of the Lord your God and refused to go in. You complained in your tents and said, 'The Lord must hate us. That's why he has brought us here from Egypt, and hand us over to the Amorites to be slaughtered. Where can we go? Our brothers have demoralized us with their report. They tell us the people of the land are taller and more powerful than we are, and the towns are large, walls rising high into the sky. We even saw giants there, the sinners of Anak. But I said to you, don't be shocked or afraid of them. The Lord your God is going ahead of you. He will fight for you, just as you saw him do in Egypt. And you saw how the Lord your God cared for you along the way as you traveled through the wilderness, just as a father cares for his child. Now he has brought you into this place. But even after all he did, you refused to trust the Lord your God. He goes before you, looking for the best places to camp, guiding you with a pillar of fire by night and a pillar of cloud by day. When the Lord heard your complaining, he became very angry. So he solemnly swore, not one of you from this wicked generation will live to see the good land I swore to give your ancestors, except Caleb, son of Jephunneh. He will see this land because he has followed the Lord completely. I will give to him and his descendants some of the very land he explored during this scouting mission. The Lord was also angry with me because of you. He said to me, Moses, not even you will enter the promised land. Instead, your assistant Joshua, son of Nun, will lead the people into the land. Encourage him, for he will lead Israel as they take possession of it. I will give the land to your little ones, your innocent children. You were afraid they would be captured, but they will be the ones who occupy it. As for you, turn around now and go back to the wilderness toward the Red Sea. Then you confess, we have sinned against the Lord. We will go into the land and fight for it, as the Lord our God has commanded us. So your men strapped on their weapons, thinking it would be easy to attack the hill country. But the Lord told me to tell you, do not attack, for I am not with you. If you go ahead on your own, you'll be crushed by your enemies. This is what I told you. You would not listen. Instead, you again rebelled against the Lord's command and arrogantly went into the hill country to fight. But the Amorites who lived there came out against you. They chased and battered you all the way from Mount Seir to Hormah. And you returned and wept before the Lord, but you refused to listen, so you stayed there at Kadesh for a long time. Deuteronomy 2. Then we turned around and headed back across the wilderness toward the Red Sea, just as the Lord had instructed me, and we wandered around in the region of Mount Seir for a long time. Then at last the Lord said to me, you've been wandering around in this hill country long enough. Turn to the north. Give these orders to the people. You will pass through the country belonging to your relatives, the Edomites, the descendants of Esau. The Edomites will feel threatened, so be careful. Do not bother them, for I have given them all the hill country around Mount Seir as their property. I will not give you even 1 square foot of their land. If you need food to eat or water to drink, pay them for it. For the Lord your God has placed in everything you have done. He has watched your every step in this great wilderness. During these 40 years, the Lord your God has been with you, and you have lacked nothing. So we bypassed the territory of our relatives, the descendants of Esau who lived in Seir. We avoided the road through the Arabah Valley that comes up from Elath and Eziah and Geber. Then as we turned north along the desert route to Moab, the Lord warned us, do not bother the Moabites, the descendants of Lot, or start a war with them. I have given them Ar as their property, and I will not give you any of their land. A race of giants called the Emites had once lived in the area of Ar. They were as strong and numerous and tall as the Anakites, another race of giants. Both the Emites and the Anakites are also known as the Rephaites. Some of the Moabites called them Emites. In earlier times, the Horites had lived in Seir, but they were driven out and displaced by the descendants of Esau, just as Israel drove out the people of Canaan when the Lord gave Israel their land. Moses continued, and the Lord said to us, get moving, cross the Zered brook. So we crossed the brook. 38 years passed from the time we first left Kadesh Barnea until we finally crossed the Zered brook. By then, all the men old enough to fight in battle had died in the wilderness, as the Lord had vowed would happen. The Lord struck them down until they had been eliminated from the community. When all the men of fighting age had died, the Lord said to me, today you will cross the border of Moab at Ar and enter the land of the Ammonites, the descendants of Lot. Do not bother them or start a war with them. I have given the land of Ammon to them as their property, and I will not give them any of their land. That area was once considered the land of the Rephaites, who had lived there. Though the Ammonites called them Zamzumites, they were also as strong and numerous and tall as the Anakites. But the Lord destroyed them so the Ammonites could occupy their land. He had done the same for the descendants of Esau who lived in Seir, where he destroyed the Horites so they could settle there in their place. The descendants of Esau live there to this day. A similar thing happened when the Kaphtorites from Crete invaded and destroyed the Avites who lived in villages in the area of Gaza. Moses continued, then the Lord said, now get moving, cross the Arnon Gorge. Look, I will hand over to you Sihon the Amorite, king of Heshbon, and I will give you this land. Attack him and begin to occupy the land. Beginning today, I will make people throughout the land terrified because of you. When they hear reports about you, they will tremble with dread and fear. Moses continued, from the wilderness of Edomoth, I sent ambassadors to King Sihon of Heshbon with this proposal of peace. Let us travel through your land. We will stay on the main road and won't turn off into the fields or on the side. Sell us food to eat and water to drink, and we will pay for it. All we want is permission to pass through your land. The descendants of Esau who lived in Seir allowed us to go through their country, and so did the Moabites who lived in Ar. Let us pass through until we cross the Jordan into the land our God has given us. King Sihon of Heshbon refused to allow us to pass through, because the Lord your God made Sihon stubborn and defiant, so he could help you defeat him, as he has now done. And the Lord said to me, look, I have begun to hand King Sihon and his land over to you. Begin now to conquer and occupy his land. Then King Sihon declared war on us and mobilized his forces at Jahaz. The Lord our God handed him over to us, and we crushed him, his sons and all his people. We conquered all his towns, completely destroyed everyone, men, women, and children. Not a single person was spared. We took all the livestock and plunder for ourselves, along with anything of value from the towns we ransacked. The Lord our God also helped us conquer Aroer on the edge of the Arnon Gorge, and the town in the gorge, and the whole area as far as Gilead. No town had walls too strong for us. However, we avoided the land of the Ammonites all along the Jabbok River and the towns in the hill country, all the places the Lord our God had commanded us to leave alone. Deuteronomy chapter 3. Wow, that quickly we're coming towards the end. Those are just coming in. We're reading the Bible in 90 days. We're on Deuteronomy chapter 3. Next, we turned and headed for the land of Bashan. King Og and his entire army attacked us at Edrei, but the Lord told me, do not be afraid of him, for I have given you victory over Og and his entire army, and I will give you all this land. Free him just as you treated King Sihon of the Amorites who ruled in Heshbon. So the Lord our God handed King Og and all his people over to us, and we killed them all. Not a single person survived. We conquered all 60 of his towns, the entire Orgog region, and his kingdom of Bashan. Not a single town escaped our conquest. These towns were all fortified, high walls, and barred gates. We also took many unwalled villages at the same time. We completely destroyed the kingdom of Bashan, just as we had destroyed King Sihon of Heshbon. We destroyed all the people in every town. We conquered men, women, and children alike, but we all kept the livestock for ourselves and took plunder from the town. So we took the land of the two Amorite kings east of Jordan River, all the way from the Arnon Gorge to Mount Hermon. Mount Hermon is called Sirion by the Sidonians, and the Amorites called it Sinir. We had now conquered all the cities on the plateau and all Gilead and Bashan, as far as the towns of Salake and Adria, which were part of Og's kingdom in Bashan. King Og of Bashan was the last survivor of the giant Riphaites. His bed was made of iron and was more than 13 feet long and 6 feet wide. It can still be seen in the Ammonite clan of Rabbah. When we took possession of this land, I gave to the tribes of Reuben and Gad the territory belonging to Aurora along the Arnon Gorge, half the hill country of Gilead with its towns. And I gave the rest of Gilead and all of Bashan, Og's former kingdom, to the half tribe of Manasseh. This entire Argob region of Bashan used to be known as the land of the Rephaites. Jair, a leader from the tribe of Manasseh, conquered the whole Argob region in Bashan, all the way to the border of the Gershonites and Maccathites. Jair renamed this region after himself, calling the towns of Jair as they are known today. I gave Gilead to the clan of Machir, but I also gave part of Gilead to the tribes of Reuben and Gad. The area I gave them extended from the middle of Arnon Gorge in the south to the Jabbok River on the Ammonite frontier. They also received the Jordan Valley all the way from the Sea of Galilee down to the Dead Sea, with the Jordan River serving as the western boundary. To the east were the slopes of Pisgah. At that time, I gave this command to the tribes that would live east of the Jordan. Although the Lord your God has given you this land as your property, all your fighting men must cross the Jordan ahead of your Israelite relatives, armed and ready to assist them. The wives, children, and numerous livestock, however, may stay behind in the towns I have given you. When the Lord has given security to the rest of the Israelites, as he has to you, and when they occupy the land the Lord your God is giving them across the Jordan River, you may all return here to the land I have given you. At that time I gave Joshua this charge. You have seen for yourself everything the Lord your God has done to these kings. He will do the same to all the kingdoms on the west side of the Jordan. Do not be afraid of the nations here, for the Lord your God will fight for you. At that time I pleaded with the Lord and said, O sovereign Lord, you have only begun to show your greatness and the strength of your hand to your servant. Is there any God in heaven or on earth who performs such great and mighty deeds as you do? Please let me cross the Jordan to see the wonderful land on the other side, the beautiful hill country and the Lebanon mountains. But the Lord was angry with me because and he would not listen to me. That's enough, he declared. Speak of it no more. But go up to the peak and look over the land in every direction. Take a good look, but you may not cross the Jordan River. Instead, Joshua and encourage and strengthen him. He will lead people across the Jordan. He will give them all the land you now see for you at their possession. So we stayed in the valley of Peor. We have arrived at our penultimate chapter, chapter 4. Now, Israel, listen carefully to these instructions and regulations I am about to teach you. Obey them so that you may live, so you may enter and occupy the land the Lord, the God of your ancestors, is giving you. Do not add or subtract from these commands I am giving you. Just obey the commands of the Lord your God that I am giving you. You saw for yourself what the Lord did to you at Baal Peor. There the Lord your God destroyed everyone who had worshipped Baal, the God of Israel. But all of you who were faithful to the Lord your God are still alive today, every one of you. Look, I now teach you these decrees and regulations just as the Lord my God commanded me, so that you may obey them in the land you are about to occupy. Obey them completely, and you will display your wisdom and intelligence among the surrounding nations. When they hear all these decrees, they will exclaim, how wise and prudent are the people of this great nation. What great nation has a God as near to them as the Lord our God is near to us whenever we call on him? And what great nation has decrees and regulations as righteous and fair as this body of instructions that I'm giving you today? But watch out. Be careful never to forget what you yourself have seen. Do not let these memories escape your mind. As long as you do, that's worth marking down. Verse number 10, Deuteronomy chapter 4, never forget the day when you stood before the Lord your God at Mount Seir, where he told me, summon the people before me, and I will personally instruct them, and they will learn to fear me as long as they live, and they will teach the children to fear me also. Listen, let me say good morning really quickly. There's more people coming on. Good morning to you. I see you. I see you. I see you. I see you on Facebook. I see you on YouTube. I see you on Instagram. Good morning. Good morning. Y'all, we're almost there. We're almost there. Now, I didn't give a little introduction into Deuteronomy because we were just reading it together. But in a nutshell, the book of Deuteronomy, Deutero means two, Nami or Damascus law. This is the second giving of the law. This is God speaking to the new generation of Israelites, the ones that were not killed in the wilderness. So the ones who were 19 and under, who grew up in the wilderness, they're now grown, got families of their own, and God is telling them again the same laws that he gave to their ancestors, reminding them something critical that really encapsulates the first 5 books of Moses. Never forget. Don't forget what God has done. Don't forget what he has taught. Don't forget how he handled generations before. Use the memory of the past to impact your present and secure your future. The book of Deuteronomy, second giving of the law, so that this new generation can be ready to live in the promised land. Let's continue reading Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 11. You came near and stood at the foot of the mountain, while flames from the mountain shot into the sky. The mountain was shrouded in black clouds and deep darkness, and the Lord spoke to you from the heart of the fire. You heard the sound of his words, but you didn't see his form. There was only a voice. He proclaimed his covenant, the 10 commandments, which he commanded you to keep, which he wrote on 2 stone tables. It was at that time that the Lord commanded me to teach you his decrees and regulations, so you would obey them in the land you are about to occupy. But be very careful. You did not see the Lord's form on the day he spoke to you from the heart of the fire at Mount Sinai. So do not corrupt yourselves by making an idol in any form, whether of a man or a woman, an animal on the ground, a bird in the sky, a small animal that scurries along the ground, or a fish in the deepest sea. When you look up into the sky and see the sun, moon, and stars, all the forces of heaven, don't be seduced into worship. The Lord your God gave them to all the peoples of the earth. Remember that the Lord rescued you from the iron smelting furnace of Egypt in order to make you his very own special people, his very own people and his special possession, which is what you are today. The Lord was angry with me because of you. He vowed that I would not cross the Jordan River into the good land the Lord your God is giving you as a special possession. You will cross the Jordan to occupy the land, but I will not. Instead, I will die here on the east side of the river. So be very careful not to break the covenant the Lord your God has made with you. Do not make idols of any shape or form, for the Lord your God has forbidden this. The Lord your God is a devouring fire. He is a jealous God. In the future, when you have children and grandchildren and have lived in the land a long time, do not corrupt yourselves by making idols of any kind. This is evil in the sight of the Lord your God and will rouse his anger. Oh, let's delete something here. All right, let's keep going. Verse 26. Today I will call on heaven and earth as witnesses against you. If you break my covenant, you will quickly disappear from the land you are crossing the Jordan to occupy. You will live there only a short time, and you will be utterly destroyed. For the Lord will scatter you among the nations, where only a few of you will survive. There, in a foreign land, you will worship idols made from wood and stone, gods that neither see nor hear nor eat nor smell. But from there, you will search again for the Lord your God. And if you search for him with all your heart and soul, you will find him. And in this future, when you are suffering all these things, you will finally return to the Lord your God and listen to what he tells you. For the Lord your God is a merciful God. He will not abandon you or destroy you, or forget the solemn covenant he made with your ancestors. For the Lord your God is a merciful God. He will not abandon you or destroy you or forget the solemn covenant he made with your ancestors. Now search all of history from the time God created people on earth until now, and search from one end of the heavens to the other. Has anything as great as this ever been seen or heard before? Has any nation ever heard the voice of God speaking from fire as you did and survived? Has any other God dared to take a nation for himself out of another nation by means of trials, miraculous signs, wonders, war, a strong hand, a powerful arm, and terrifying acts? Yet this is what the Lord your God did for you in Egypt right before your eyes. He showed you these things so you would know that the Lord is God and there is no other. He let you hear his voice from heaven so he can instruct you. He let you see his great fire here on earth so he can speak to you from it, because he loved your ancestors. He chose to bless the descendants, and he personally brought you out of Egypt with great display of power. He drove out nations far greater than you, so he could bring you in and give you their land as special possession as it is today. So remember this and keep it firmly in mind. The Lord is God, both in heaven and on earth, and there is no other. If you obey all the decrees and commands I'm giving you today, all will be well with you and your children. I'm giving you these instructions so you will enjoy a long life in the land of the Lord your God is giving you for all time. Then Moses set 3 cities of refuge east of the Jordan River. Anyone who has killed another person unintentionally, without previous hostility, could flee there to live in safety. These were the cities there on the wilderness plateau from the tribe of Reuben, Ramoth and Gilead for the tribe of Gad, Golan and Bashan for the tribe of Manasseh. This is the body of instruction that Moses presented to the Israelites. These are the laws, decrees, and regulations that Moses gave to the people of Israel when they left Egypt, and as they camped in the valley near Beth Peor, east of the Jordan River. This land was formerly occupied by the Amorites under King Sihon, who ruled from Heshbon. Moses and the Israelites destroyed him and his people when they came up from Egypt. Israel took possession of his land and that of King Og of Bashan, the 2 Amorite kings of Jordan. So Israel conquered the entire area from Aroer at the edge of the Arnon Gorge all the way to Mount Sirion, also called Mount Hermon. And they conquered the eastern bank of the Jordan River as far south as the Dead Sea, below the slopes of Pisgah. Y'all, I misspoke. That was not our penultimate chapter. That was our final chapter. So we have made it through our reading for today. Numbers chapter 31, all the way to Deuteronomy chapter 4. Let me fact check that. Make sure we finish. Oh my God. Yes, Deuteronomy 4. So we have completed our reading for today. Thanks be to God. As always, it is a blessing when you all come to hear the word of the Lord and read along with me, and don't let me read by myself. So God bless you all. And for those that would desire to sow into the ministry, sow it to me personally, $K Brooks, sow into Pentecostal Temple. It is scrolling at the bottom of your screen. Text to give. Text My Pizza Church 77977. You can give online, mypizzachurch.org. You can give by Zelle, info@pizzachurch.net, scrolling at the top. And also, if you desire to sow into Philo's Church, that are watching for Philo's Church, and we'll set that up for you to see in just a moment. And that is on the screen right now. So 3 ways that you can sow today. If you're watching Philo's Church, info at philos.church for Zelle, $ Philo's Church Cash App at Philo's Church. For PayPal, for me personally, desire to sow, $ K Brooks. And also, Temple, if you desire to sow, it'll be scrolling at the bottom of your screen or the top of your screen, wherever you are watching from. And we are grateful for anything that you give into the ministry. Of course, not a requirement, but we thank you all for coming out to support this ministry and to hear the word of the Lord. So let's do it again tomorrow, y'all. We're almost there. Tomorrow is Thursday. We'll be reading a little bit more of Deuteronomy, and I hope and pray that today is a blessed day for you. I pray God keeps you, blesses you, and surprises you today in ways that you didn't see. All right, that's all we got for today. We'll see you tomorrow at 7:30 a.m.